I am Alexandra Sherron. I am the President and CEO of Empress Royalty. We offer you a strategic approach to investing in gold and silver. Here are our forward-looking statements. I suggest you have a look at these. They're also available on the website, as I would be making forward-looking statements throughout the presentation. So, Empress. We are a strong mining finance team. As a team, we've completed over $6 billion in mining finance transactions over 250 years of experience, which really does provide unique access to investment opportunities. We create new royalties and or streams to get mines into production or to expand upon production capacity, which result in strong returns. Our current portfolio IRR is about 31%. We have a diversified portfolio of royalty and streams, exclusive to precious metals, or focused on quality over quantity. We're currently generating revenue, forecasting about $7 million US in revenue this year, going up to $10 million next year, which will allow us to build the portfolio and drive growth. So taking a step back, what are royalties and streams? A royalty is where we invest in a company and we receive a percentage of revenue from production. A stream, we invest in a company and we're able to buy gold or silver at a discounted price. Typically, we say we pay 20% of spot price, so that's an 80% discount. And at Empress, we do a combination of both using our expertise. One of the benefits to an Empress shareholder or holding shares in a royalty company, you're getting direct leverage to gold and silver. It's a hedge against inflation compared to typical mining companies. We're able to keep quite low G&A and also, as I mentioned before, pay a low percentage of the spot price. High returns, our IRR is 31%, and you're getting access to a globally diversified portfolio, leveraging off the multi-jurisdiction experience of our team. Two charts here. The first one shows how royalty companies have outperformed the price of gold and the Gold Miners ETF over the last 10 years. And the second one is the life cycle of a royalty company. We just launched Empress over 2 years ago. We're in that stage one, establishing market presence, demonstrating our business strategy, executing on it, and we believe we should be able to quickly accelerate to stage 2 rapid growth with our strategy. There's been a lot of new entrants in the last 2 years into the royalty and streaming space, especially in the junior side. We view there's sort of 3 types. There's the exploration generation, early stage, inexpensive, no guarantee it'll turn into a mine. And if it does, there's a very long lead time to revenue generation. Then there's the third-party acquisitions. Pretty simple. The contracts already exist, but there's no ability to negotiate those terms, and there's no direct relationship with the mining company. It's become quite crowded, typically paying a premium, and historically low returns. At Empress, we're on the creation side. We work with mining companies to create a new royalty or stream, and we have a direct relationship with them. We have monthly reporting. We're not just waiting for the quarterlies to come out. We have weekly calls with most of our investment companies. And with that, we're able to create flexible structure that meets the goals of all parties and able to focus our investment dollars into producing asset, which will bring revenue into Empress and allow us to continue to grow. Our investment manager is Endeavour Financial. The managing director of Endeavour is David Rhodes, who's our executive chairman. My background, I was director of structured finance in London with Endeavour for 10 years, raised $1.5 billion in deals. So we're taking a team that does a lot of streaming deals for Wheaton and different groups, and we were seeing that the larger streaming companies are doing $100 million more investment size, and that no one was really servicing the smaller producers with that same financing structure, and that's why we established Empress. And it also gives me access to all of their cash flow modelers, financial analysts, mining engineers, and geologists to really punch above our weight for such a small company. Moving on to how we invest. Again, we're looking at development and production stage projects. Right now in our evolution of growth, we're looking at companies that are within 6 months of production, but as we grow, we'll probably go out to about 12, 18 months. We are only looking at gold and silver companies. We're global. Right now, we're in Mexico, Peru, Mozambique, and able to get some great returns using our experience operating in those countries. As I mentioned, our investment size is sub 25 million. Sweet spot for us right now is 2 to 10 million. and all of our investments have a strong ESG focus. So jumping in the portfolio, we launched this company with just 13 exploration royalties, and we've layered in 3 development stage assets, 1 producing asset. 2 of those development stage assets are now getting into production. So Sierra Antipis is a private group in Peru. The mine was started by Buenaventura in 2002, purchased by Sierra Sun. 2016, over 1 million ounces have been produced to date. We've received over 1,000 ounces of gold from these guys since our investment of $10 million. So we invested $10 million for their 4.5% gold. The annual cash flow to Empress is about $2.2 million coming in. Our other investment is the Talahueto mine in Durango, Mexico, owned by Luca Mining, who's also here. We invested initially $5 million, so we're getting 100% of their silver, up to 1.25 million ounces, and then 20% for 10 years. The annual cash flow, when they're fully ramped up, is about $3.5 million. The net asset value is $20 million. I highly recommend talking with Luca. They've just gone through a restructuring. They've just finished off their financing, and they've got a fantastic team in place now. We have the Manica Gold royalty. This one's in Mozambique, owned by MMP. This one we structured as a royalty, as it's in Mozambique. It was a better structure than a stream, but we get 3.375% of their gold. They got into production in the fall. They're ramping up now, and we're getting consistent revenue from them. The annual cash flow is about $1.6 million. The net asset value is $5 million. I should also mention that one, there's a lot longer mine life, so we expect it to run and be a lot longer. Our development stage 1 is the Pinos project in Zacatecas, Mexico, owned by Candelaria. We have a 1% royalty across the entire project, so we're excited for when they get to a construction decision. As I mentioned very early on, these were the original investments that we had as part of our direct listing to qualify as an investment issuer on the TSXV. So pipeline of opportunities. We're currently looking at over $50 million of potential deals and investments to bring in the portfolio. I'm happy to report that we currently have exclusivity now on 2 of those transactions, the first 2 gold streams. One's for 7.5, one's for $5 million. Both are current operators right now. They're in production. We'll be helping them expand their production capacity. And so, yeah, excited to be moving these ones forward. So forecasted revenue, $7 million this year, $10 million next year. Cumulatively, over the next 5 years, we're forecasting $54 million in revenue. We've invested $19.5 million to date into the portfolio. Our net asset value is $47 million, and our market cap is just $25 million US. Pair comparison, if you look at the PNAV ratio, we're at about 0.65 times. The average is 1.24 times. You look at the cash flow, we're at just 0.3 times, or 0.39 times. The average is 32 times. Our team, as I mentioned, David from Endeavour is our chairman, myself and Jeremy Bond from Terra Capital Australia, all large shareholders, and on the investment committee. We're supported by Natasha Kiernan, our lead director, a mining lawyer specialist, Paul Mainwaring, a CFA in London, and Wes Roberts, a mining engineer in Toronto. We have a small team. Our G&A burn rate is about $1.7 million. Myself, Rich in New York for origination and executing on deals. Janet's our CFO. Caitlin, who's here with me today, is our VP marketing. We have Alison Rippon-Armstrong as our ESG advisor, and David Lang, our technical advisor. Our shareholder base, roughly 25% of the company is owned by management and board and our strategic partners. We have roughly 30% institutional. We did a small private placement in the fall where Rick Rule participated to bring him as a shareholder. Between himself and Mariette Sprott, they own about 16% of Empress. We've got other fund managers like Frank Holmes and US Global on our stock as well. 118 million shares outstanding, market cap in Canadians about 34 million. We have independent research coverage from Red Cloud and Research Capital. We currently have just over $1 million in cash Right now, as again, we've got cash coming in from our current investments, and that will really ramp up as Talawetta ramps up. We have a debt facility with Nabari. We did that for $15 million. We drew down 5. We paid 2 of that to date, and we have another $10 million available to us if we want to use that facility to build the portfolio out. I am also in discussions of restructuring that debt to get some better terms. I'll skip through this because I'm running out of time, but Caitlin and I are around so we can talk to more about some of the milestones. We have a lot of near-term catalysts. The one in Peru is ramping up. Talawetta is ramping up. They should be at 500 tons by June, 1,000 tons by the end of the year. Manic is ramping up, all bringing revenue into Empress so we can reinvest it into the portfolio with some new investments. Investment case, $19.5 million into the portfolio US to date into 4 key assets. Our forecasted revenue over the next 5 years is $54 million. The net asset value of the portfolio is $47, and our share price, our market cap is just $25 million. Please follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Caitlin and I will be around for the next day or the rest of the afternoon at the booth, so please come and ask us any questions. Would love to chat more, and thank you, Greg, for hosting us.